Sergio, we're on. We got to start the show.
Oh,
yeah.
Are we live?
We are. Yeah, you got to put down that morning poutine. This is an international show. We can't have that.
Apologies, folks. I thought we had a few more minutes before we went live. No, apparently it's showtime. We're here. We're ready to do this. It's the House of Nerds show, all Canadian episode, part Deux.
Yeah.
We gotta show some love to our fellow Canuck and Quebecois friend Joey P over here. He's guest hosting with us. The lovely Lauren not here today. Had to take the week off. Steve, is that like her third or fourth week off now? Or
it's been a bit, but
have we approved that? I mean, was it officially approved?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay,
I did. Yeah, it was okay.
Well then.
Yeah. You were devastated for a while, so we felt like not involving you in any of this stuff. So we were just like, Lauren, take a break. He'll be back. It's okay.
All right, fair enough. So we've got our good friend here, Joe. Joe, why don't you say hello to the audience, introduce everybody for those who may be a little bit unfamiliar with you, bud.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Joe Paquette. You can find me on Twitter at 00 Joe Paquette. I am often in the chats on Sundays, joining in with you guys during the shows, and can't wait to get into it, talk about some comics, interact with you guys in the chat like usual, like any Sunday, except this time, I'll be here live.
That's it, yeah.
Now, you're off, like you mentioned, you're often in the chats, and when you're in the chats, you're a wild man. You're all over the place. You're You're always commenting, so much so that I've already thought of a nickname for you, like weeks ago.
All right,
we've got Jungle Joey up in the show for today because he's a wild man.
Jungle Joey.
I don't mind, man. I adopt any nicknames. I've had Miami Joe. I've had I've had a bunch of different nicknames. So yeah, I'm down with Jungle. I'm down with Jungle Joe.
Now, I personally,
if you would have told me this beforehand, I would have actually maybe found a Tarzan outfit and maybe worn that for the show. Missed opportunity, boys. Missed opportunity.
We've got
a lot of
new
show
names
planned
here
for everybody, man. I think. Steve, what were you about to say, bro?
I was gonna say there's a lot of new names I'm seeing here.
We got
Comic Denominator, Chase Black.
Who's Ian H?
I think that's intern Ian.
That's Tokyo Joe.
Yeah, it's good old
on Twitter.
Intern Ian.
Yeah,
you don't say.
Yeah,
our good old friend. Shout out to everybody who's in the live chats today. Thank you guys for showing up.
And what a show we have planned for them today, right, Serge?
I hope so. I hope we got a decent plan. Hey, today we're talking comic rating, guys. We've got your TO Comic Book Club later on. Of course, Copper Drop, our favorite segment, my favorite segment, anyways. But before we get into all of that, week in review, man. This week of comics, man. I don't know about you guys, but I was a bit overwhelmed in terms of just the quality, the amount of amazing reads to get to. I knew what was at the top of my read pile, but Joey, what was your haul looking like? What are you reading these days? Man, let's get into it, bro.
Well, this week was an unusual week for me, not my typical routine because I'm on vacation and Pat and I took a trip down to Niagara Falls.
Oh.
And so, I wasn't around the shop and I still haven't gotten the chance to stop at my shop. But while on vacation, I made it a point to stop at a bunch of shops along the way. So I yelled out to everyone on Twitter if they had suggestions for shops along the 401 on my way down to Niagara Falls. And then I got a few shout backs. So I stopped at a few shops while on vacation and spread a little money, a little love to other comic shops around along the 401. I can list out the shops I stopped at if you want.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do a nice shout out for these.
All right,
so love to this great Canadian comic shops, man. We
all
got
right,
great shops along the 401 for sure.
In Niagara Falls, there's two shops there. One is called Big B's Comics. Nice little shop, clean. They got a bunch of toys, stuff like that. Your usual fare. Then you have Freak Show. It's another small shop in Niagara Falls. This is more of a wild man shop. This is like a shop that's run by just like hardcore comic fans. You know, you can see they have this is a bin diver's delight. This place, like, you could find little hidden gems anywhere in the bins. If you like diving in bins, Freak Show's the place for you. But like there was one box, it had a little sign on it written, "Too damn hot to sort, so just go through it." So they hadn't sorted them to put them in the bins yet. He had a box there saying it was too hot this week to sort through comics. So
just random
that just goes to show you what kind of shop. They're super laid back, you know, like, yeah. So that was good. Then a little ways up on the 401, I stopped at Surge's shop, Gotham Central. Yes. And I met up with Serge. So we had a little Twitter comics meetup. Yeah.
We did.
And that is a big ass shop. Gotham Central is huge, well organized. If you're into variants, this shop is definitely a place for you to stop. This place, I think it has almost any variant you want from ratio variants, because they order a ton of books, a ton of figures. If you like figures, they have a boatload. So this shop was good. Like, if you like big comic shops, like huge, like this is like, I've never been to, let's say, like a Midtown Comics, but I'd assume it has the same kind of vibe as a Gotham Central. This is a big league type place. And then at the end of our vacation, on the way home on Friday, we stopped off in Oshawa at a little shop called the Worlds Collide.
Oh, you
and
did?
This was the shop that is right up my alley. Like,
our good friend Papa Woody, that's his neck of the woods, right? Woody style?
Yeah, exactly. He's the one who gave me the rec for this one.
Okay.
And so we stopped in, and it's like it's laid out like a bookstore, like a used bookstore. Their bins are in shelves with drawers that you pull out to go through, and you push them back in. It's a really nice little bookstore style shop, and I loved it. That place was good. The owners or the workers there were super helpful, like chatted us up the whole time. Like, I'm going through stuff and he's just chatting me up the whole time, like asking me where I'm from, what I'm doing. A great little shop. And Papa warned me. He said they got a lot of indie stuff, a lot of hard to find stuff, and they have a lot of little books made by local people that they put on the shelves. Other really small indie guys that self-publish. They put these out. It's a really good little shop. If you're looking for hardcovers, out of print stuff, indie stuff, like that's not your big indie like Image or Boom or whatever, like really self-published books, that shop is great. It's a great little shop.
Joe, did MT wants to know, did you end up going to Big B Comics by any chance?
Yeah, I went to Big B. Yeah, it's a nice shop. Nice little shop, clean. I picked up a few books there. I think I spent about $300 on comics.
Wow.
On our trip.
Really?
So I dropped about at least $50 at each shop, you know, like I showed them all quite a bit of love. So
but that's I love that.
I could have dropped at Surge's shop. I could have dropped even more if they would have had the Moon Knight Mezco 12 figure, but they didn't. So I saved myself $130 there. Yeah, it could have been even worse.
I'm sure. Pat, your wife was happy about that. I know my significant other would have been elated that I didn't just drop $150 on a toy. And
well, she was like
a collectible statue. Damn it!
That's what I'm saying, Steve. That's what I'm saying.
Figures are better than statues because you can change the poses and put them in action poses with other figures. So that's why I like the figures more than the statues myself. The statues are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. There's some amazing statues out there, but I'm more of a figure guy because I like, you can change the poses. You can have fun with it in the display, and the statues are more static. You don't have the same options with them.
Yeah.
Joe, Ian is saying that you love your Mezco.
Yeah, that's it. I was looking for that Moon Knight Mezco. And if they would have had it, then I would have had to have bought the giant Jack from Nightmare Before the Funko Pops. You know, they have the giant ones.
Yeah.
That was part of the deal. If I got that Moon Knight, then Pat was getting the.
Okay.
So it was like his and hers.
Negotiations.
Yeah, that's because she reads comics too. Like out of that 300, man, she spent about $100 out of that 300. So maybe 150. She was almost split it right up the middle. We almost like the comics were almost right up the middle between the two of us.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not so bad. It's not so bad, you know. When you're in a couple, everything's half. So if it's 500, really, it's only 250.
Everything's half. I've been living like a 90-10 split. I think we gotta introduce our girlfriends because definitely doesn't work half and half.
Well, don't ruin Joe's good thing, okay?
No, I know it's true.
Because that could definitely backfire big time.
Oh man. But yeah, man, I'm jelly, man. It sounds like you had a good time. I know anytime I'm in a new neighborhood area, part of the country. First thing, I same thing. Let me hit up the comic store, and as a kid in a candy store, I get so excited, like ridiculously excited. Wow, look at all this stuff, you know, all the familiar, and then like a lot of guys in the chats were saying, just bin diving. Man, all that stuff is just, you know. It's a collector's, I guess, dream, right?
Yeah. When 2 years ago, or I guess 2 summers ago, when we ended up going to Halifax out east, we ended up going in the middle of the House of X Powers of 10 when those 12 issues were coming out. Yeah. So like when number 5 came out, I was just like, I gotta read this. Like I gotta keep up with this because I don't want to be behind. So we ended up finding a nice shop in Halifax. Okay. And we scouted that place, checked it out. Great store. I don't remember the name of it offhand. Okay. Lovely store. I ended up getting my issue there, and then I still like. Just that one issue I at least read for that week. And it was just nice being able to check out another store somewhere else.
Oh, for sure. It's a great feeling.
But a little word of advice to people in the comments, like, you know, pay cash, never bring the receipt home, throw it out instantly. And always buy something for your woman, you know? You know her, buy her a little something. Then like, it smooths it over a little more, you know?
So
like,
Joe,
you're thinking of them.
We were in Gotham, and you see that they've got their whole candy section. He brings in like releases from the States that you can't get in Canada, like all kinds of cereals, chocolate bars, candies. So you know, every time I used to go in there with the girlfriend, I mean, I kind of basically bribe her with some unreleased candy joint, but she's caught on, and that doesn't work anymore. So moral of the story, folks, probably best if you don't bring your significant other with you to the comic store. That's
I disagree. You just got to find a way to get them, rub them into it.
Yeah.
Everyone likes something. There's
Steve,
something for
not everyone is as smooth as you, bro, though. I mean, you know, so. But Joe, in lieu of your top 3 comics, you weren't able to pick up this week's releases.
No.
What are you reading these days? Hit the audience with some of your favorite comics, your current ongoings that you're just loving.
Yeah.
So one that just wrapped up that I've loved is from Vault Comics, a title called Barbaric. This book is off the wall. This is a fun take on like the Conan, like the barbarian genre, except with a little twist. He's got a demonic axe that is alive and gets drunk off blood. And the main protagonist is Owen, and he's cursed, and he can only kill people that have sinned or are deemed punishable by death. So the axe is the one that decides that. So he constantly asking his axe because he loves to kill, but now he has to like kind of hold back, and the axe gives him the okay or not. And the one thing about the axe is blood acts like alcohol to the axe. So the more he kills, the more his axe gets drunk. So the axe gets all drunk and high off blood, and there's like, it's just great scenes between him and his axe, and it's a great book. This book title, I think it's the first arc is 3 issues, and it just wrapped up last week or the week before. The writer is
only a 3-issue arc, eh?
But they're coming because it's going to be a much larger universe. Like this is just one part of the universe, from what I understand and what I've read. Okay. And I think we're going to touch on other characters. Like I think the next arc might not even have Owen in it. It might have a different set of characters, and they're building this big universe. Yeah. So I think this is Vault's attempt at building like this huge, expanding and reaching universe within
like a fantasy universe, right?
Yeah, within their line of comics. Okay. Yeah.
It looks like honestly, it looks like a D&D campaign that went, you know, onto the pages. It feels like something that you would find in D&D.
Yeah, I was really surprised because I thought this was just going to be like one of those fun, dumb, like just action. But man, there's some story to this. Like the first issue, after I read the first issue and the second issue, I was like, man, they're going to dive into some deep stuff. Like and it's all wrapped in this fun package. Like so far, they've hit it out of the park with this first arc. And the writer for this is Michael Morecci. The artist is Nathan Gooden, and he is amazing on the art on this book.
The art
really
looks
good.
Dope. The art looks dope, and I gotta say, I mean, you know, the regular viewers, they know I'm not a fantasy guy at all, but I've been hearing so much like pretty 100% like amazing things about this book that when that trade drops, I will pick it up. I'm just curious to see what all the hype is about. It looks interesting. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
and while I was at your shop, I picked up the dirty covers because Vault's gotten into this habit now, or it's starting to become popular again. I'll shout back to the episode you did a couple weeks ago about nudity. Well, I picked up the dirty covers while I was at your shop because they had them. So I picked up all the Vault dirty covers. The last book you'll ever read, I picked up the dirty cover for that. Sweet Paprika 2, I picked up the dirty cover for that. The Mirka cover for her second issue. So you know, so nudity is it sells.
Yeah,
it sells for sure.
So for those folks, jump back. I want to say maybe two episodes ago, Nudity in Comics. Steve, Lauren, and I believe
it was
Tara was on that episode. So hey, you know, good time.
But Barbaric's not the only thing you've read, right? You've read other stuff.
No, another issue I read was James Stokoe's book on Dark Horse. It's titled "The Orphan and the Five Beasts." This book, the first issue was good, but that second issue just bonkers. Like that just floored me. Probably my issue of the year so far is Orphan and the Five Beast issue 2.
Wow.
And this one is easy to tell you who the creator is. It's James Stokoe. The guy does everything. He does the writing, art, color, lettering. He's a machine. He's a true cartoonist.
Is he the cover artist on this book here?
He does everything, yeah. He doesn't let anyone else touch his book.
Because that's insane, bro. That is some crazy artwork.
There's a lot of detail there.
Wow.
And all the covers are connecting. Like I might not have lined it up perfectly, but they're connecting covers from one issue to the next.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Ian, you can blame Steve and Lauren and Tara. If I was there would have been 100% nudity.
Listen, we know where we can find nudity. The OnlyFans debacle has been, you know, reset. They're not going away. So if you want to find good nudity, you know, you can. This guy, you know, he's your man.
OnlyFans after hours.
But Orphan and the Five Beasts. What else do you have to say about it, Joe?
The only issue I have with this book is the delay. Because the second issue came out in April, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And the third issue is only coming out this November. And the reason for that is because James Stokoe has been doing a lot of one-shots for DC and Marvel lately during the summer.
Okay.
So I don't know if that caused delays on his book with Dark Horse. But anyway, yeah. So that's the only issue. It's a painful wait for such a great book.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Joey, you know, you're a big Dark Horse. You're always raving about their books, and in part, you know, I've been trying to check out more of their titles, because you know of you know the good things you have to say about their titles, and you know for sure they've got some great stuff. I think, man, they're one of those guys. Dark Horse, holler at me, man. You guys need better like marketing or something, because
to be fair,
crazy active, like, you know, pushing their stuff, man.
To be fair, they were doing all right. Then the pandemic hit, right?
Yeah.
And they were one of the slower publishers to get back out of the blocks once things started back up. It took them a while, but since 2021, they've been killing it. They've been on fire since 2021 rolled around, and they've been just putting out books.
Cool.
Yeah. So keep an eye. I always bring up Dark Horse books because they have some great stuff coming out. No One Left to Fight. The second arc is coming out for that this October or November, I believe. The first arc was really good, so that'll be coming out. They have Goblin just recently come out. I haven't read it yet, but I know it's supposed to be pretty good. And Serge, I think you read a book recently from them, from their Berger imprint. She Can Fly, or right?
Yes.
You've read that?
Oh.
Yeah, that's
I
Dark
didn't
Horse.
realize
That's
that was Dark Horse related.
Yeah, that's Dark Horse. That's Berger. She's the one who started Vertigo over at DC. Now she's with Dark Horse doing her own imprint called Berger through Dark Horse.
Man,
and that's one of the titles.
So I read that because we had Christopher Cantwell on the show last month, I believe, and I knew next to nothing about that book. I gotta say, I recommend that book to everybody, man. It came in under the radar, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised. Such a great read, man. I've got to catch up on volume 2, and he's dropping a volume 3, I think, later on this year.
But then speaking of good reads, so those 2 books that you just talked about, Joey, those aren't the only stuff that you've read, right?
No, one more Dark Horse book. One more.
Hey.
All right.
And this one's a Dark Horse as well. And this, I've been ranting and raving about this for a while now, is Jenny Zero.
Yeah.
This is one of my gems of the year, man. I love this book. The humor in this book it might not be for everyone, but it hits home. It hits home with me. I love the humor in this. It makes me laugh out loud. Almost every issue I read of this, I laugh out loud at least once.
Nice.
And this is written by Brockton McKenney and Dave DeWanch. The illustrator is Magenta King. I've never heard of him. I think he's fairly new. Like, he hasn't done that much other work, or not in North America anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, this book is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a kaiju style book. The protagonist and her best friend are kind of like a Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie type dynamic. So there's a lot of partying, debauchery, self-destructiveness, humor, action. It's got everything. This book has it all. If you like a fun book that's just a fun read, just basically just dumb fun. Well, I won't call it dumb fun, because it touches on some stuff, like some personal, like the backstory between her and her father and stuff like that. It touches on some personal, emotional stuff, but
Joe,
in general,
you had me at debauchery.
You had me at kaiju.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's really good. And
you've got 2 readers jumping on board, and Steve and myself. So we'll be checking.
And this the first arc just wrapped up, so the trade should be coming out soon. Should be fairly. I think it might have been in the last solicits, if I'm not mistaken, for Dark Horse for November. Right, we're at the November solicits now.
Yeah.
So I think it's dropping this November. The trade for this one.
I've actually
just wrapped up
got
this
all
month.
those issues. I just haven't gotten around to reading them. And for those who do have issue number 1, hold on to them, because it did get picked up. It did get optioned, correct? Kaiju Score. So
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I haven't read that yet. Yeah, I haven't read that one yet.
I'm fairly sure.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's good though.
Yeah, you've heard it's good. I mean, you read it, right? So I would hope.
No, but you're talking about Kaiju Score. That's a whole nother book.
Oh, Jenny Zero. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm getting confused.
Kaiju Score is that an Aftershock, or is it?
That is Aftershock.
Yeah. Okay. Kaiju Score is a whole nother book that's supposed to be really, really good as well. I haven't personally read it, but I've heard a lot of people that I trust their opinions, and they all said it was good.
I got you. Yeah. I'm still drunk. Apologies for the. Anyways, with that, I mean, solid books.
Yeah.
I want to hear, Steve, man, what made your top 3 this week, buddy?
My week in review, yeah. So picked up my usual Marvel stuff. This was the part 4 of Sinister War, but there's still the ASM stuff. So Sinister War isn't completely done yet. I really like Sinister War. Like, this issue in particular, I liked it. That's all I have to say on that.
Okay.
In terms of my top 3, there was a lot of books I read. I did read Basilisk. I did read some other stuff. They just didn't make it. Basilisk, it was good for the first issue, but since then it feels, I don't know what they're waiting for. It's not hitting its mark. So it's never really making my top 3 anymore. It does a lot of good things, but it feels like it's just spinning its wheels. Like, nothing's happening, and it keeps trying to tell me things are happening. And it's like, we're leaving off where we left off before. You're still out for revenge, and it feels like nothing's changed. So it's like, I don't know. I guess I want more out of Basilisk, because I know it can do more. So it's not in my top 3.
Okay, fair enough.
In terms of my top 3, though, I decided to listen to Lauren, and I picked up Stephanie Phillips' Harley Quinn annual.
Okay.
Now, this is my number 3. And
interesting.
Yeah, we talked to Stephanie last week, so definitely check out that if you want a nice interview with Lauren and I and Stephanie Phillips. And in that interview, she mentioned things like she was writing an upcoming issue where it kind of addresses people's opinion of Harley in terms of like the meta commentary of audiences really liking Harley, even though she's a murderer and she's done a lot of really messed up shit. This issue really does take focus on that. And there's a lot to say about this, but I think I'm just gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for another time because I think this is something that we could talk about together a little later, maybe. Maybe.
I see where you're going with that. All right.
I don't know. Maybe we could talk about it. Maybe not. I think we could talk about it a little bit later.
A little later, folks. You might want to stay tuned because I definitely have some thoughts or non-thoughts on that. Yes. Number 2, my man.
My number 2, New Mutants. Now, I've consistently been enjoying what's been going on with this, but it's never really broken I think once or twice it's broken my top 3. This one specifically, it definitely did. There's kind of 2 or 3 subplots going on in this specific issue, and I really dug all of them. The one is dealing with a bunch of the kids. So basically, the old New Mutants are now training like the new Mutants to kind of how to use their powers. They were adolescents way back when, right? They were the New Mutants way back when, and now they're the teachers of these new younger mutants because no one else is teaching them. So they've taken them to the moon and they're trying to like teach them all how to use their powers and be a good team together. And during this issue, there was that stuff, but then there was also the stuff going on with Scout, also known as Gabby Kinney, Laura Kinney's sister. There's a lot of stuff that's dealt with her, especially in Hellfire Gala, and even before that, in terms of the Shadow King. This issue is very pivotal in terms of the Scout stuff, in terms of that whole storyline with the Shadow King. I don't want to show any screens of that, just because anything I show would be too spoilery. But definitely, if you like Gabby, aka Honey Badger, aka Scout, check out New Mutants. Check out this issue because there's a lot going on with her.
Vita and Reyes are such a great creative team.
Yeah,
and they're knocking it out of the park.
The art of it is so unique. Like it part of it feels like Phil Nadeau, but then part of it doesn't. So it's really, really wild seeing just how colorful it is too.
Yeah,
just
I dig the art for sure. I was about to ask you who the artist is on this one. It's cool.
It's all over the place for this book too, because you got this some of the space stuff where it's a little bit more neon, right? But then you've got like the down to Krakoa stuff, so it's very green and the New Mutant yellow. It really, really plays off with one another. So definitely check out New Mutants, number 21, if you want to find out more on Scout or Gabby Kinney. But like I said, that's only my number 2. My number 1, I don't think it should be a surprise to anyone. I know it's not going to be a surprise to Serge, and it is The Many Deaths of Laila Starr, issue number 5. And
makes me happy to see that, Steve. Makes me very happy.
I was going to say, did you want to talk about this? Because this might be in your top somewhere too, Sergio.
Yes, let's that might make an appearance. Shall we just table that for a second, Steve? And
yeah, we can table that for a bit. Yeah. So this was not my number 1. We'll table that because I have thoughts, but I think I can get to my thoughts in just a moment. Sergio, what did you read for this week, and what are in your top 3?
Gonna kick it right off. My number 3 book, Lucky Devil. Man, listen, this is one of those books that I was very pleasantly surprised. It kind of came out of nowhere for me. And number 2 just continues the greatness that is Lucky Devil. This is a Bunn book. One of 4 books released by Mr. Bunn this week, man.
Yeah.
That guy's a machine.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
Has Steve read this one?
No.
See, I don't know. Steve seems to have a little grudge against Cullen Bunn for putting out too much
don't.
work, so I don't know if he'll enjoy this one.
See, okay, so the weird thing is, I like a lot of Bunn's stuff. Like his Magneto run was amazing. I like what he did with the X-Men. He is hit or miss on the indies, though.
Bunn was on Magneto?
Yeah, he wrote a really good Magneto series in 2012. Definitely.
He's done a lot of big 2 work in the past. He's been on an indie tear of late, though.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his Marvel stuff at all. Wow, okay, that's pretty cool. So listen, I mean, for those who are unfamiliar with the premise, you've got a kind of a down on his luck character by the name of Stanley. Just one of those guys that's kind of stepped all over and pushed around and just kind of leading a bit of a miserable, pathetic existence. Issue 1, he is possessed by a demon lord, and what ends up happening is he tries to get rid of this demon. A kind of an exorcism takes place. It backfires. The demon is expelled, but he's left with these powers, which makes for a really interesting possession premise. Because we've seen a bunch of stories with possession as the synopsis, but so there's a nice little twist on it. And in issue 2, you see this big change, man, even in his physical appearance. Whereas before he's kind of just hunched over, pathetic. Now he's
his posture's changed.
Yeah, nice. Completely. His look, man, this guy's walking around strutting. He
feels taller than ever.
I'm sorry?
He feels taller than ever.
Absolutely.
So he's gained some swagger.
He's walking 8 feet tall, man. And, you can see kind of what these newfound powers, where it's leading this character. And it's leading in a very interesting direction. I got to say, man, I'm really, really enjoying Lucky Devil. As you can see by this double page splash.
I was just going to say, is this an orgy going on? Because, maybe it's the colors.
My man.
A lot of it seems like certain people are wearing clothes, but certain people may not be. Is this YouTube friendly? We're just gonna
I wish we could zoom in.
I give it two thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, for those who have that issue, definitely kind of maybe just zoom in on a couple of those character interactions. Some interesting stuff, to say the least. But yeah, Lucky Devil is a blast.
Some are wearing clothes. So we've got like a dress in the bottom left. So some are wearing clothes. Maybe it's just the coloring of it.
And just so people aren't confused, Lucky Devil doesn't mean he's getting lucky because he's getting into orgies. It has nothing to do with that.
No,
I love that cover though. That cover's awesome.
It is a nice cover.
It's a sick cover, man. So Fran Galan, the artist, and El Torres. Yeah, he's crushing it, man. Steve, do you want to just put up that one panel real quick back where he's kind of throwing up that character just to show off the coloring there? Yeah, I mean, just subtle but great, man. That background adds just depth in there. I love what the colorist is doing on this. Great book, definitely recommend it. My number 3, my number 2, guys. Geiger. Listen, man. Issue 1 came out. It made my top 3, and every week that it's been out, if it hasn't made my top 3, it's been an honorable mention. Geiger to me is not being spoken about enough. Great stuff. Jeff Johns, man. Johns is a legend, man. He's put out. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. He's creating his own universe here, man, and it's hitting big time. Gary Frank, another legend, the artist. Man,
are there any delays on this book?
Delays?
Yeah, because the last time Johns and Frank worked together, there's quite a bit of delays when it came to
actually.
Book.
That's true.
Actually, they got ahead. They started working on this immediately as soon as they're done. The clock, Doomsday Clock.
Yeah,
they started working on it because I read some articles because that was a huge concern. And I think they already had like 2 or 3 issues completely finished in the bag before they even released the first one. So they were making
solicited.
Yeah, so they made sure that, because they knew that was an issue in the past, they're trying to nip that in the butt, and so far they seem to be doing a good job at it.
Oh man, so Geiger just really caps off in a fantastic way. This arc one, this volume one. What I love about this issue is you really see this universe, and they are creating a whole universe. What they're trying to do here. They set up for down in the arcs moving forward. Different characters, like right here we got, I think his name is Junkyard Joe. They introduced this character here, pretty cool looking, and he's actually going to be the main character in volume 2, dropping in 2022. So they drop hints of what they're trying to do. It looks like they're going to be focusing on different characters throughout this.
Okay.
What do they refer to as the Unknown War? So the scope of this is it's fairly large, and
that's interesting that they're going to change the protagonist, follow another character for the second arc. I like that, because I read the first 3 issues and I kind of fell off it a little bit, but knowing that they are going to go off on take different paths for each arc is actually quite interesting. So I might jump back on and throw that back to the top of my pile then.
Joe, I definitely recommend it. It's the story comes full circle here. You've got a guy who's lost his kids. That was his hope. He wasn't sure whether they survived this kind of atomic nuclear war. And then he becomes a surrogate parent to these 2 kids, these survivors, and you can see one of the pages there. Just a lot of emotion, man. A lot of emotion. Definitely for all the action and this kind of storyline, this post-apocalyptic kind of future, there is a lot of emotion in here, and it hit me in the feels as I was reading this. I think the story of wanting to protect your kids, doing everything, whatever it takes, is relatable to any parent. So a fantastic, or anybody really, man, just wanting to protect the ones you love.
Yeah.
Period,
so it's a fantastic issue, but still your number 2.
That's only my number 2, bro. So listen, guys, please pick up Geiger, man. All the issues, can't go wrong with that. It's my number
1.
2,
what's your number 1?
My number 1. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
What was your number 1?
I think my number 1 was the same as your number 1.
Oh.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding. Oh. Good old Many Deaths of Laila Starr, the finale issue.
Man, Laila Starr. You guys know since issue 1, the House of Nerds show has been super, super high on this book.
Friend of the show, Ramby.
Yes, we had him on, I think, right after issue 1 dropped.
We also had Felipe Andrade, didn't we?
We've also had Felipe Andrade on the show. Man, so we've had both the creators. We've been lucky, man. We've been lucky on here. This, man, issue 5, I don't think it's hyperbole to say it's the perfect ending to what is a damn near perfect series. It's that good, folks. It's that good. I don't even have the words to say how. It's just a beautifully issue 5 and the whole series as a whole is just it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's actually, so issue 5 is titled Poetry, if I'm not mistaken, and it's fitting because from the art to the writing, it's a poetic, gorgeous story of death, kind of discovering the nature, the nature of life and death, and kind of you see this character. She goes on this beautiful journey, right? Sad at times, but this one, every issue that I've read, including issue number 5, it's honestly it's gotten me.
You know what I found interesting with this book, and it's kind of a nice parallel to so far, my favorite series of this year is Carmen.
Okay.
Carmen's are always at the top. And I found a nice parallel between this and Carmen, whereas Carmen is a story that takes place in the afterlife, after death, showcasing what life is all about, the great things about life, right?
Yep.
And this book is kind of opposite. It's about death, kind of. It's about kind of life making death out to be kind of poetic in that same way that Carmen did with life, in an opposites, right? So this book, it really did kind of showcase death in a way. It personified death, and it showed that death is not something that we should be afraid of. We should embrace our life as if death it's an inevitability, but it's something that it's not something that we should be afraid of. And I like the parallels.
Absolutely. Well said, Steve. As much as this book is about that, it's not really. It's about life and kind of, really kind of realizing the beauty and a lot of times we're kind of chasing something, and no, let's just kind of take everything in for its beauty and appreciate things. We love it so. Oh well. You want
to say about this real quick?
Look at all these beautiful covers, man. Laila Starr has had some of the most gorgeous covers recently. From Felipe Andrade's on the left there. This is a Martin Simmons, one per store. I was able to snag one for one of my lucky customers who I think I've seen in the chats today. So that's actually on your way. We love it so much that I mean, Steve, I think we get spoiled. We got a little something in the works. We might be dropping something next week in terms of a Laila Starr review for you guys, man. Pick it up. This is honestly, I saw it in the chats. Deserves an Eisner, 100%. If this doesn't win like Book of the Year,
I don't know. It's a tough. Okay, are you saying like single issue or overall series?
Single issue and overall. I think it was issue 2, the one where the little boy Shah, he had his kind of like
the caretaker
guy.
Yeah,
my dude, legit teared up, bro. Legit teared up. That's probably my single issue of the year.
I really enjoyed Laila Starr, but I found it didn't hit me as hard as Carmen did. Really? I don't know, something about Carmen for me. Carmen really hit me, and Laila Starr, it makes me think, but it didn't really emotionally hit me. And it's something where there's that very small distinct difference where I actually felt emotionally attached with the story of Carmen that I didn't as much as Laila Starr. Laila Starr for me is like, this is how comics can be. Like, look at all the facets. Like, look at the way text is being used. Look at the way colors are being used. Look at the way the narrative of issue 3 out of perspective of a cigarette. Like Laila Starr professionally shows what comic books can really be and how great they can be at telling different stories in different ways. And then Carmen for me was some story that it was about something that was just very emotional for me. And already the art and Carmen did everything that Laila Starr did, but it kind of hit me. And I think Laila Starr can kind of hit people in that same way that Carmen did for me. Yeah. And I think for that reason, because I felt emotionally attached with Carmen, I put it slightly higher, but I can totally see Laila Starr doing that same exact thing because it did everything right.
And Carmen is right there for me as well. And I think that's the beauty of these books, whether it's these 2 books or anything else, when a book just kind of resonates so emotionally and so powerful as a reader, man, I don't, is there a better feeling, guys? I don't know, man.
No.
I have to agree, though.
Was that, bro?
Like, I have to agree with Carmen. I think that was probably the series where I think it had the best finale, like the final issue to close out a series. I think Carmen was probably was tops this year. It was a 5-issue, right? So issue 5, probably the best final issue of a series this past year. Yeah.
Also, issue number 3.
Laila Starr, amazing.
The cigarette as a narrator, bro. Forget it. Ram V is like legit. He's the best writer in the game right now, and I don't think it's close, really, to be honest.
Speaking of Ram V, I think Radio Apocalyptic or Apocalyptic Radio is dropping next month, which was delayed from the month of May. That got pushed back from May or June, and it's dropping next month. That's Ram V. So all the Ram V fans, look out for that book. That's from Aftershock, I believe, and it's dropping next month. Ram V. It looks like a pretty good jam, that one. So keep your eyes out for that.
Big time, big time. Thank you, Joey, for reminding us. And that's the same creative team as Blue and Green, as These Savage Shores. Adnan, I believe, is the artist's name. So that to me is gonna be like, that's an automatic cop. Looking forward to that very much. So that's my top three. I had Lucky Devil, Geiger, and this beauty of a series. Thank you, Ram V. There's been nothing short of fantastic.
Thank you, Felipe Andrade.
Felipe as well. Yeah, absolutely. The artist. I couldn't picture any other artist on this book, man. It's just so elegant. The art, my goodness, man. I've become a big fan of his style, man. Gorgeous stuff. That's our week in review, guys. Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, so apparently you have got something cooked up for us today for the fine folks in the audience, a little game. You care to explain what's going on? Because I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do some we'll do some shop talk, behind the scenes talk. This is a segment that I kind of cooked up a long time ago, and we've had it scheduled for multiple episodes. And every time we go to do it, Sergio's just like, let's just change that one, and he changes it to like something else, right? And so finally we can do this gamey segment called Who Said It. Now,
who said it? Okay.
Yeah, I know you're thinking like, what kind of game is this? What really is this all about? And let me just bring it up here. Who said it?
Oh, I already like it. Look at that.
Okay.
That fancy schmancy title card there. I dig it. That's sharp.
Thank you. It took me a while.
All right.
It took me a while. All right. Who said it? The way this game is going to work is obviously you get 1 point for you being correct. You get no points for you being wrong. Keep track of your scores. People in the chat, you can feel free to join it as well. Help out Sergio and help out Jungle Joey over here on what they should choose.
Last time Sergio had a hard time counting his score.
Yeah.
Forget it. And don't count on me trying to count today because it's not happening. So the audience, definitely, you guys need to keep tabs.
Help out
on the score here. Help us out.
The premise of this game is I'm going to give you dialogue from a book, and then I'm going to give you 3 options on who said that dialogue. And then we're going to show which is correct. It's fairly straightforward. Who said it? Our first one. What if they took a picture of your feet? This was in a book. Someone said this. Did Dr. Octopus say this?
Okay.
Did Batgirl say this?
Mm-hmm.
Or did Thor say this? We'll start with you, Jungle Joey.
I'll go Batgirl. I have no clue. I'm going to go Batgirl.
What if
they took a picture of your feet?
I want to say...
although maybe if it's like take a picture of Dr. Octopus's tentacle feet to try to duplicate his technology, it could have been that.
I was just about to go with the Doc Ock angle because I feel like he's got he's a man of many appendages. So
yeah,
I can see him having some kind of a foot fetish, a Quentin Tarantino thing going on. I'm gonna go with Doc Ock, baby. Let's
go with Doc Ock. Okay,
Doc Ock.
Jungle Joey's going with who is it?
Batgirl. I'm sticking with Batgirl. Yeah, but I think Doc Ock might be the safer bet.
All right, chat. We've got some for Thor, some for Batgirl, another for Thor. All right. So, who said, what if they took a picture of your feet? It's Batgirl. Joey.
Nice.
Give yourself a point.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, here's where she said
it. Okay.
Must have been from probably one of her Burnside books because she's wearing that Burnside outfit.
Okay.
Or at least after that. Probably near the rebirth stuff. So
you got me there, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, well played.
Number 2, we got a point
That's
for Joey
one.
already on the board.
Yes.
My armored fist will end that pleasure right now. Did Iron Man say this? Did Lex Luthor say this? Or did Dr. Doom say, my armored fist will end that pleasure right now?
I don't know who said it, but I'm slightly aroused. I gotta say, I like that. I like where this is going.
But it said end that pleasure. It's not add to that pleasure.
Yeah, it's
so
ending
I don't
pleasure.
know. It's
Okay.
yeah.
We've got comic denominator right now is saying it's Lex. Sergio, who are you saying?
You know what? I'm gonna go with. I was gonna go Lex, but you know what? I'm going with. I want it to be. I want it to be Iron Man.
All right, you're going with Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My first instinct was Lex Luthor, so I'm going with Lex.
All right.
Yeah.
We got Emmett is saying Doom. Comic denominator is saying Lex. Sergio, you're saying
Iron Man.
Iron
Final
Man?
answer.
All right, Joey, you're saying Lex.
That sounds like such a villain quip. So I have to go with. It's either Lex or Doom for sure. I can't picture Iron Man saying that.
All right.
All right, going with Lex. That's locked in. It's Dr. Doom.
Boom.
Doom.
Boom.
It's such a cheesy villain line.
We'll
Yeah.
end that pleasure right now.
Am I down 0-2 already?
You are down 0-2.
Wow.
Joey's got 1 point over you right now.
Yeah.
No,
One measly point.
Yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So far, you're winning.
Yeah.
Number 3. Don't mess with me, lady. I've been drinking with skeletons. Did Hellboy say this?
Okay.
Did Wolverine say this? Or did John Constantine say this? Sergio, what were you going to say?
I thought maybe you might have been hanging out with me. That's what I said last night. After hours. But
when you were drinking with those skeletons of yours.
Yeah, the ones in the closet.
All right, we got 2 in the chat are saying Hellboy. Comment on comics is saying Hellboy. So is MT.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Emmett is saying Hellboy.
And there's one giveaway in what he says that lets you know who it is. I'll wait. I'll let you pick, Sergio, because I know I'm not changing my name. I'll let you go. But there's one word in that thing that gives away who it is.
I think it's Hellboy because he's referring to it as a lady.
Yes, exactly. It's the lady. Yeah, exactly.
And that could be something Wolverine says.
Yeah.
No.
Wolverine doesn't call ladies bubs.
You're not going to get me this time, Steven.
Yeah, no. It's
locked
Hellboy.
in on Hellboy.
All right, you both are locked in for Hellboy?
Yes.
All
right, good on you.
Yeah, that lady was the giveaway.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's his language. That's his,
for sure.
That's the way he talks.
Agreed.
And that's what's great about who said it. We can kind of see the verbal dialect differences of these characters, right? If there was a bub in there, you would have swore it was Wolverine.
Yep.
All right. Who said it? Number 4. I promise no matter what, I will never be your friend and I will never forgive you and I will hate you for the rest of my life. Pretty emotional words. A little over the top, but who doesn't?
That's heavy, bro.
That's pretty heavy. So did Batman say this? Did Robin, aka Damian Wayne, say this? Or did Red Hood, Jason Todd, say this?
The dialogue sounds a little
juvenile,
childish, a little immature. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go one of the Robins. Which one? Man, that sounds like a Robin Damian quote. I'm gonna go Damian.
All right, you're going Damian.
Mm-hmm.
Joey.
It sounds like something a kid would tell his father, so I'm going with Damian as well.
All right, chat is saying. Oh, Lauren's in the chat. Hey, Lauren. Hello. Chat is saying, and it's saying Damian. MT saying Red Hood. Comic denominator is saying Red Hood. Jason as well. And you're all wrong. It's Batman.
Holy shit! Damn. Really?
And guess who he said this to? His lovely wife, not wife, Catwoman.
Oh my! That's actually that's hilarious, bro. Wow. Okay.
So is this it? He doesn't go down on her, then he hates her for the rest of his life. I mean, poor Catwoman. I think she needs to move on.
Honestly,
she needs to find a new man.
Honestly,
I promise, no matter what, I will never be your friend, and I will never forgive you, and I will hate you for the rest of my life. Totally something Batman would definitely say.
That's cold. That's cold, Batman.
All right, number 5. So you both did not get any points for that.
No.
I think right now, Joey, you're at 2. Sergio, you're at 1.
1. Okay. I got to step my game up.
You guys might know this one because it's in your verbiage. Punish me, Daddy. I deserve it. Let's don't make that a sound clip. Please, for the love of God, don't make that a sound clip. Punish me, Daddy.
We're gonna.
Did Spider-Man say this? Did the Flash say this? Or did Superman say this? One of these heroes said these words.
The fact that it's one of these 3 is really throwing me for a loop right now.
Well, you like both Flash and Superman, don't you, Serge?
My favorite superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite superheroes.
Maybe you could relate to one of them.
This quote right here is that's me all day, every day.
Internian is saying Superman, MT is saying Spider-Man, comic denominator is saying Spider-Man. They're both having question marks.
Yeah,
so
this is a tough one. You
it's a tough
see,
one.
These are good. You came through with the toughness.
And it's saying Soups.
Yeah.
Joey, what are you saying?
Well, I'll eliminate Spider-Man because he doesn't have a father, unless it's like some kind of sex thing with MJ or something like that, or Black Cat. I have no idea. Because it's
comics
Daddy.
Are weird.
Punish me, Daddy. It sounds like such a in bed kinky talk thing. So I don't know, man.
Tokyo Joey.
I'll go Spider-Man. I'll go no Daddy. No, nah. So that'd be more something a girl would say to a guy. So I don't know, man. I'll go with the Flash. I have no clue. Yeah, I'm going with the Flash.
No clue. Serge, who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with Spider-Man. I feel like he's just trying to be like, I don't know. He's trying to be funny or something. He's talking to Doc Ock or.
Oh, you're thinking it's a quip.
It's a quip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Spidey does do that.
Yep.
All right, so Sergio, you're saying Spider-Man. Joey, you're still locked in for the Flash.
Yeah.
All right. A few people saying Spider-Man, Superman. No one's saying Flash in the chat, and that would be because the Flash is not the answer.
Superman.
It's actually Superman. You both are incorrect.
Wow.
And good old Silver Age comics, right?
Yeah.
Man, it's Daddy. Why use the word Daddy or punish me, Father
This
or
will
Dad?
hurt me.
It's Daddy. Daddy's such like a bedtime dirty talk word to use. You know, like I don't know.
This right here for all those people who say Superman is a boring character. You're wrong.
I guess he got spanked every so often, you know.
Man, okay.
Oh man.
All right. Wow.
Number 6. This will strengthen my teeth, but I'll admit that chains are not my favorite diet. This will strengthen my teeth, but I'll admit that chains are not my favorite diet.
I'm going
Who
low.
said it? Was it Ghost Rider?
All right.
Was it Wonder Woman? Or was it Matter Eater Lad? Matter Eater Lad, he's if you don't know, he's a hero who eats everything. He can eat anything, no matter what.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with. I have no clue. Let's go. Matter Eater Lad. I just want to say that Matter Eater Lad. Right.
Yeah, I mean, Ghost Rider doesn't really eat stuff ever in his books. Wonder Woman eating a chain. I don't know. I was thinking maybe King Shark was going to show up as one of the options at one point, but yeah, I don't know. Matter Eater. I'll go with that too, just to like strategy. I'll pick the same as Sergio all the way through. That way, I'll stay 1 point ahead. No, I should be picking first though. Whoever has the lead should pick first, right, to give the other person the option.
You know, we'll do that next. We'll do that next question.
Yeah. All right. I'll go with Matter Eater Lad too.
All right, you both are saying Matter Eater Lad. Chat is going off. Wonder Woman. I don't know. Chat's pretty quiet on this one. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't know. It was Wonder Woman. You're both incorrect.
Huh.
Gotta love these old comics, right?
Wow.
Okay, because she's tied up. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That'll make more sense if you go watch the documentary on the creator of Wonder Woman stuff.
Yeah.
All this old school Wonder Woman stuff will make so much more sense to everyone, and it's a good documentary. I recommend people go watch it. Yeah.
What doc is that, Joe?
Wonder Women, I think it's called. Is that it? Or Wondrous Women? I don't remember the exact title.
I think it is Wonder Women, and then there's a subtitle to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been on Netflix at some point. No?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
All right, number 7. Taking a victory lap, babe. You can't rob a bank if I burn it down first. Was it Reverse Flash who said this? Was it Heatwave who said this? Or was it Carnage?
I'll go with Heatwave, just because it's the most obvious answer if you don't know.
All right.
Taking victory.
Chad is still talking about daddy and the word daddy.
Yeah.
Serge,
Wow.
who do you think said taking a victory lap, babe? You can't rob a bank if I burn it down first.
I don't know, man. I'm obviously not faring very well at this game. Steven has brought the heat. So with that said, let's go with Heatwave.
You realize you're going with the same answer Joey is. So even if you do get it right, he's still going to be ahead of you. But I'm not going to tell you how to play the game.
Is this the last question?
No, it's not.
Okay.
How many questions?
If this was the last question, that would be a bad strategy, Serge.
We have. I'll give you a hint. We have 10. No, not even a hint. I'll tell you. We have 10 questions.
Okay.
So we have two left.
You might have to come into play the next 3. Yeah, Heatwave locked in.
All right, so you both are saying Heatwave is saying taking a victory lap, babe. You can't rob a bank if I burn it down first. Comic Denominator in the chat is saying Heatwave. Emmett and I comment on comics are both saying Carnage. Ruben's saying Mad Eater Lad. That was a while ago. Ruben, you gotta catch up.
he's a little late to the game.
Who actually said this though? Good old Carnage.
Carnage.
Now,
man, we're sticking this game up, man.
Oh,
now I say this.
I don't think, man.
Because
okay.
For those that don't know, after the Marvel Axis event, there are 3 characters that ended up switching their personalities. Iron Man turned evil in a way. Carnage swapped to good. So basically, Axis, it swapped your personalities, and like good becomes evil, evil becomes good. Carnage became good, and so did Sabretooth. Now, in this, Carnage had a bit of a solo series doing this, and even though he was good, you can't change that personality. You can't change like how he is in a way. So he's doing good things, and he's thinking it's better, right? So he's trying to stop someone from robbing a bank. So you can't rob a bank if he burns it.
Yeah,
he's doing good.
I feel that. Jeff Howell, to answer your question, absolutely. The head is doing one of those things right now. So I think the glasses will stay for the duration of the episode, guys. Thank you.
All right, number 8, humans as fickle and inconstant as the changing wind.
Oh,
Did Loki say this? Did Silver Surfer say this? Or did Darkseid say this? Humans
I was thinking,
as fickle and inconstant as the changing wind. Joey, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking between Loki and Darkseid, but I'll go with Darkseid.
All right.
Hey, a fellow. See, I thought I was the only one who pronounced it Darkseid.
I hear everyone saying it's like I've heard people say Darkseid. I feel like I should say it Darkseid, but I've heard everyone say Darkseid, so I'm like, I guess Darkseid.
I thought it was canon that it was Darkseid, but I always pronounce it Darkseid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my answer.
So who's picking first here?
You just
I already did.
You literally just picked. Where are you?
I don't know.
You know we're doing a show right now, right?
Is this live?
All right, Joey's saying Dark Side.
Seed.
I comment on comics is saying Silver Surfer. So is Emmett. Comic Denominator saying Dark Side. So is intern Ian. Serge.
Seeing as it's the all Canadian, the all Canuck episode, I'm gonna go with my good old friend and fellow Canadian Emmett, Silver Surfer, my man.
All right.
There we go. I have a
Serge is
feeling it's
locked
going to
in
get
for
tied up.
Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Joey, you're locked in for Dark Side.
Yep.
Sergio gets one.
There you go, Serge.
Silver Surfer said this.
Trust the chats, man. Trust the chats.
Shout out my main man, Emmett.
So right now
Okay.
it's 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Right.
He somehow came back. Good job,
Right.
Emmett, for helping him out.
Yeah.
Number 9. This is a pretty much freebie if you know X-Men at all.
Okay.
Professor Xavier is a jerk. Who said this? Was it Magneto? Was it Jubilee? Or was it Kitty Pryde?
I'd have to go with Kitty Pryde because they have a history there. So I'm going Kitty Pryde.
All right. I comment on Conks is also saying Kitty.
Yeah.
Serge, who are you saying?
I was gonna.
Emmett's saying Jubilee though.
Yeah. Hey,
it sounds like
I'm riding the train. I'm riding the train, baby.
It sounds like her vernacular though.
Let's do Jubilee.
Before you did the 3, I was thinking Wolverine, right? Jerk. Yeah? It sounds like something he would say, but yeah.
All right.
So Serge, you're locked in with which?
Jubilee.
All right. Joey, you're locked in with?
It's too late.
Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde.
Or Kate Pryde, we should say.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be Kate. At the time,
it'd be Kate. Kitty. It was Kitty. Oh, so we already know the answer.
It's Kitty Pryde.
Nice.
This is a classic a meme one. Like I've seen this everywhere. Professor Xavier is a jerk because he really is. Xavier's an asshole.
He's an asshole. He's a jackass.
Incorrect. Emmett is not always right. Clearly, you let me down, buddy. I was going with Kitty Pryde as well too.
Ruben got a point. Joey, you just got a point up to 3/2 right now.
Wow. Okay. So this is the last one.
Big old final question. And if you remove his outer clothing, you'll be in for quite a surprise. Was it Ant-Man who said this? Was it Harley Quinn who said this? Or was it Deadpool who said this?
His outer clothing. I have no clue. I was thinking... I'll go with it has to be a villain that I don't know. Maybe Harley Quinn. Maybe she's talking about Batman. You know, if you undress him, you'll be very surprised to see who it is. Bruce Wayne.
Harley Quinn, you're going?
Yeah, I'm going Harley Quinn.
I have to pick just in hopes that you're wrong and I've got this right. It's a simple maths game here at this point. Let's go. Let's go the one probably least expected, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. That was my second option.
Ant-Man.
Joey's locked in for Harley Quinn. Serge, you're locked in for Ant-Man.
Yeah.
A bunch of the chat are saying Harley Quinn. Emmett is saying Harley Quinn. Ian saying Harley. Ruben is saying Deadpool. For number 10, who said it? And if you remove his outer clothing, you'll be in for quite a surprise.
So she said.
Sergio gets a point.
Ties it up right at the end.
Ant-Man. And if you remove his outer clothing, you'll be in for quite a surprise.
Yes.
What can we say here?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we gonna do for the tiebreaker now?
Doesn't Ant-Man like shrink down and like Pleasure Wasp and one of the comics as well? So it makes sense.
He sure does.
They make those dirty references in Ant-Man comics. Makes sense.
I came back.
You did come back.
I had a mediocre 3 right out of 10. That's a sad.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. But hey,
I have a quick suggestion for if we do this again. Who said it?
Yeah.
Go through old shows and pull comments from the chats and do a who said it of the chats.
Oh.
You might be onto something there.
That's a good idea.
You might be onto something.
Special edition.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who said it? Fanfare edition.
Yeah.
You might be onto something, buddy. Hey, Steve, thank you so much for curating that game for us. That was very difficult, but a lot of fun. Very difficult.
You guys are welcome.
Go with those golden Silver Age comics there.
Man,
they're always great for out of context stuff. Or just
crazy.
just the weirdness, just the weird stuff that's said.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, man. That was Who Said It, our debut game. Hopefully we'll see it down the line at some point. But why are we here, folks? Today we're here to talk about comic book grading. You know,
that's true.
CGC, slabbing your books, CBCS. Comic book grading has taken off. Like it's insane right now. It seems like everything and anything is being graded these days.
Yeah.
Versus previously, grading a comic book, slabbing it, was reserved for your high value, your hard to get, gold and silver age books, or like modern keys, but like actual keys, right? But nowadays, with every book that's released, it seems, especially with the exclusives, they come with an option of getting, random book A, slabbed for, a stupid price. Just the most random, like, we're just going to offer a CGC, book, or excuse me, option on this book. So, it's very popular these days, for better or for worse. What are your guys' thoughts on grading comic books, on slabbing books? Joey, why don't we kick it off with you? And what are you thinking? What is the audience?
In the famous words of ODB, baby. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. I do not like slabbing. I'm against it. This is something that was created for flippers, for mainly for that reason, because people are too lazy to go pick this book up and do a little education on their own, so that you can understand the grade of a book. So it's just laziness of, I don't want to take the time to understand how comics should be graded, so I'm just going to send it to this company, pay them, and they'll tell me what grade it is, instead of educating themselves a little bit.
Okay, and, so for viewers who don't really know much in terms of comics, can we give like a quick summary? What is slabbing? Like, slabbing, what is comic grading?
Sending your book into the CGC or what's the Canadian one?
There's
there's 2 or 3 different. Yeah. And there's an argument even there, which one is more valid than another, who does it. Like, even within the grading community, like, there's even a saying that not all 9.8s are created equal. So there's a huge controversy just with grading itself. But basically, you're taking a book, you're sending it into this recognized company, and they'll meticulously go through your book page by page, not on a score, like kind of like the Olympics. They like figure skating, they'll deduct from your score. Your book automatically starts at a 10, and as they grade it, they knock points down. And so and it doesn't matter if it's an old book, that has no factor in it. If it's an old book, they still start at a 10, and if it has flaws, even though it's an old book, because it's older, it's bound to have more chances of having flaws, they'll grade it down. Yeah. And that's basically what it is. Then they put it in this sealed plastic cage, and your comic is in prison for life. You'll never, and if you break that seal, you lose the grade. It's no longer valid. So you got to leave that book trapped in that plastic, kind of like Han Solo and the cryo whatever, and that's basically it. Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of it, because I like to touch my books, I like to smell them, I like to turn the pages. Like, the only time I could see someone slabbing a book and having it, kind of justified is maybe if you pick up like Action Comics, like the first appearance of Spider-Man, then I could maybe condone it. But otherwise, I'm a big no on this. And it's ruined the collecting, because now people are like, I want a 9.8. Like, you try to sell a comic on eBay, and the littlest little things wrong with it, and they're like, I don't want it, this is garbage. Dude, a 9.9 on 10 is a very clean book. But people are so anal about it now. It's ruining for collectors. It's just ruining comics in general.
Do you think by doing that, it's also kind of ruining what comic books are supposed to be about too? Like, they're supposed to be read. They're supposed to be about, having a conversation about. They're supposed to be entertainment, and it just becomes a trading card thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Like when the first appearance of Punchline, how many people just went and bought the 10 copies that were on a shelf, sent them straight into the CBC and or CDC and had them graded. Never even cracked it, and then put them on eBay to sell. Like, you're not telling me these are comic fans. These are just flippers trying to make money.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I have a hard time with that.
And it's just a company just grading this based on whatever rubric someone decides.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a standard out there, but with these grading companies, at the end of the day, it's human judgment, and what someone's 9.8 is maybe someone else's 9.6 or whatever, right? I mean, there's room for,
Are they just going off of that then?
Well, this is their guide.
Okay.
This explains how they grade. This is the CGC's guide to grading comics. This book explains every little thing about how they grade, and it's available to the public. You can go buy it at any bookstore. You can buy it through the previews as well. I mean, but I can understand a lot of people don't want to do the research. They don't want to educate themselves, and so sometimes you get these people and they're making comments about the grades and stuff, and they have zero education. They don't know what they're talking about. And it's just a bunch of people that don't know the intricacies of grading that are making these for flus, like these weird, like off the wall, like thinking they know stuff and making these comments. And it's like, yeah, do you actually know what you're talking about? Go educate yourself. Go buy that book, read it over, and then come back and let's have a discussion.
But this is all just about the quality of just the
physical appearance
of it. It's all just aesthetics. It's all just how does it look and feel, and is it pristine? Is there a crease? Like, it's just physical appearance. It has nothing to do with what the actual book is about.
No,
like, it has nothing to do with the comic. It has to do with
the condition of the book itself. The physical condition.
So, Serge, I know you've personally bought a few of these, right? You've bought a few slabs and you've had them graded.
Yeah,
What is your thought in terms of this?
I think there's got to be a happy medium in this medium, right? One of my first slabs is, and my grail actually is the first Superman Flash race.
Right.
That's a book from, I believe, 1967. All right, something like that. With I want to keep it in the best condition that I can, being so old, fragile, and I got a pretty high grade. I got an 8.0, which is fantastic for that. For that age of that book. So for me, things like that, for the most part, for sure. I mean, why not want to take care of these golden age, silver age books, right? You want them to last for the rest of your life, and maybe pass them down to your kids.
But couldn't just keeping them in one of these bags, couldn't this just protect them in a way and allow you to actually read them still?
Well, I mean, it'll protect them to a point, but then you've got like the acid in the boards and even bag and board you got to replace like every 5 years is recommended.
Okay, so
for the older books, it's harder to, unless you're like encapsulating them in the plastic. It's hard to keep them in great shape like that, right? So for me, it makes sense for those high value books, those older books to get them encapsulated, to get them graded, right? And then I do have some modern books as well that I do have graded. For me, it's reserved for my favorite books, right? Like I've got a Philadelphia.
But why not just frame it? Why do you need it graded? Why do you need it? Like, why do you need to rate it?
I do have like a lot of books framed, right? Like these are all signed and stuff. So it's that's one option. You keep them. Oh, we lost Joe. He didn't like what I had to say.
He's got something there. So my thoughts on this. My thoughts on this are, I have no stake in comic book rating. I've never gotten anything slabbed or graded, or I don't care. I don't care about these artificial numbers that some guy gives in judging a book. I don't care about selling these books for a higher price because they're 9.8 compared to just 7.2. I don't give a shit about these numbers.
Yeah.
I care about the books. I care about being able to read the books. I care about being able to talk about the books. The whole grading thing, it blows my mind. that this is an actual thing that people do so that they can sell things for a higher price. It blows my mind that somehow throughout these decades, we somehow gotten from being able to pick these books up off a shelf in a grocery store to, oh, that book, I've got to keep it pristine. I've got to become a, comic book guy from The Simpsons. I've got to, suck the air out of this bag, and I got to just make sure that no one can ever touch it, because then it loses its value. And it's so weird to me to take a book and give it value based on the physical appearance of a book. That to me, it blows my mind that's what's going on. That the actual book doesn't matter. Who wrote it doesn't matter. The art, the colors, the dialogue doesn't. At the end of the day, the grading is how does it look? How does it look to you? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, basically, the value is based on the book. It's less the story and more about first appearances, right? Or events that happen that change the course of a story. That's what really makes the book have value. But then you get the other subclass of collectors that it's all about the grading, right? Some it's about the story and events that happen or a first appearance. You have that category of collectors. Then you get into the grading, which is a whole nother ballpark. And that will change from like your book going from maybe $100 to $200 to $300 because of the condition of the book.
Yeah.
And that's where they lose me a little bit because, okay, it's the first appearance, you buy it, but have you actually read the story? Have you actually seen the page? Like, that's where I get lost a little bit on it. And there's other ways, like look.
Like that, exactly.
Like, I buy these. It's just the frames. They're UV protected. I can hang it on the wall. There's a little hook on the back. I mean, they're great.
They are great.
And I take care of my books. I mean, like, and I'm like you. If it's an 8, then whatever. Like, For
those who are not familiar, and you're looking at options at displaying your books, these are BCW. They call them showcase display. They're like $10 a pop, maybe up to 15, depending where you're located. And they're a great, pretty, fairly inexpensive way to display those nicer books that you want to showcase, right? I mean, there's a whole whack of options out there. I definitely think collectors have gone way overboard with just slabbing anything and everything. Yeah, like anything and everything. I mean, I'm not quite, on Steve's end of the argument. I do think there's definitely a time and a place,
But is there a reason you think that you need a number?
In terms of the actual grade, I think that serves just more for like the seller's market, the aftermarket, the resellers, right?
All the number does to me is it's a pissing contest. That's all it is. It's a dick measuring contest. It's I've got an 8.2. You've only got an 8.1. Yours is shit compared to mine. And it's like, it's an arbitrary number, man. Like, it's a book. Why are you fighting over these numbers? At the end of the day, all you're talking about is just how torn or worn the book is. You're never using the book because it's now graded and it's stuck in this. It's frozen. It's frozen in time. You're never going to be able to enjoy this thing. Having these numbers attached to it, I get, slabbing it. I get having it so that it is never going to be hurt by the elements. I totally get that. If you have small kids or whatever, anything can happen, right? Totally understand that part.
Okay.
Giving it a number and judging it and then saying mine has more value than yours because yours has a slight wrinkle or yours has whatever, right? Just whatever defect. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's a pissing contest. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, like Ian's saying, he wants to pass his comics down to his kids.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying let a little kid read your books, but once they're old enough and if they appreciate the medium of comic books and everything, then when they're old enough and they can be careful, you want them to have that same kind of share that same reading experience that you had. And if you slab them, you lose that from generation to generation. It's something pretty they can look at. And I suppose they could go find the story digitally on Comixology or whatever, but it's just not the same as flipping those pages. The smell, especially of an older book, the newsprint has such a different smell to it. And that's a part of collecting, man. It's and I find what feeds all this grading is truly a lack of education. Because if everyone was well informed, we could all decide roughly what condition a comic is in. But now it's turned into such a collector's market that people, they don't care about anything but the value.
Yeah.
And,
now, Joey,
and grading is an easy way to get bypass education and everything. You just send it there, they do the work for you, and you just slap a price tag on it. Right? So
Joey, do you think, is there a point in your opinion that we need to arbitrarily rate these things? Like is a book with a slight crease compared to a book without a slight crease, is one, in your opinion, better than the other? Like, do you think the actual physical look of a book, do you think that matters to you personally?
I don't, because I have some pretty beat up books from when I was a kid, and I keep them. I cherish them just as much as any books that are in pristine shape because they have sentimental value to me.
Yeah.
But if these books, if you're not passionate about it and these books have zero sentimental value to you, then I could see it's like being a cold-hearted person that doesn't care about anything but the bottom line, about the money. It's
like buying concert tickets, right? It's like buying a bunch of concert tickets and then reselling them. It's about buying all the an Xbox Series X, getting all of those and then reselling that. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, but I could see, like, let's say, like I said, like one of these big books, the first appearance of Spidey or Superman. Yeah. And you're selling it at an auction or something. Like, I could see they'd want to go somewhere professional to have them look through it and be like, yes, this is actually what they're selling. This is the grade. Because at an auction, people are probably going to pay $1 million for that first Action Comics, right? So they want to make sure. Then I could see the value there because someone's looked at it. It's not a fraud. It's the actual thing. This is the condition it's in. Then I can see and understand. But otherwise, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Sergio, what is your thoughts? Like, I know you like grading things. I know you have things that are graded. To you, is that physical appearance? Does that matter in terms of the book? In terms of having and keeping the book?
Yeah, it does. To be honest, I mean, I like my books in great shape. But that for me personally, anything that I own, I like to keep it in good condition. Whether it's shoes or my clothing or I like to keep my things as as best shape as possible. So with books, I like a minty fresh, and I'm not gonna lie, I myself at times can get pretty anal about the condition of my books. I just I like things nice and tidy and well kept. So yeah.
Do you let your kids read your books?
If I do, I stand over their shoulders and make sure that they've got their gloves on, and there's a procedure in place. There's a logbook to check the books in and out and everything.
I had to ask because I let Pat read all my books. Like, there isn't a single book I have that's off limits for her to read. Like, if she wants to read it, I'll take it out. If it's a book that I know has considered to have more value, be like, try to be careful. But I don't get overly anal about it. Like, I like to share it with people. I love this stuff and I want to share it with as many people as I can. Right. Sure. And if I was too anal about it and like, and always on her case and be like, watch how you turn this or that, and she might be like, fuck comics. This is just stupid, and she won't get into it. Right. So
for sure.
I think that also
not fun for a reader, right?
That also kind of adds to the gatekeeping part of it too, right? So you've got on one side you've got the resellers that are just trying to make a quick buck off of us, right?
Yeah,
they're people who aren't comic readers are going, hey, I think this is going to be really big. I'm going to buy a bunch, like what you said, Joey. And then they're trying to make a quick buck off of us, people who are actually enthused about owning these books. That's who they're trying to make money off of.
Because those people, if the industry crashes, they're the first ones that are going to jump ship. They won't stick with it and try to help the comic industry get back on their feet. And that, I'm like you, that's where I have an issue. People that are in love with it and are dealing with other comic lovers, then I can get it. Like, because you have that other aspect of it. You're not going to stop because the value is not there anymore. You're going to keep buying these books, even though they're not worth $100 anymore, because you love comics, you love the genre, and you'll continue contributing to it. It's these people that are just in it for the cash grab.
Yeah.
That have no passion. They don't really know the history of it. They just know how to Google things to know how much they're worth, and that's it. You know, that's where I have a problem.
Yeah, I would say
I wouldn't say that. I mean, that word gatekeeperish, I think that's thrown around way too lightly. In this case, I don't think, the whole grading thing, it plays into, gatekeeperish. It plays into absolutely speculator market and flippers.
Yeah.
And that bubble, I think, like it did in the 90s, it's going to burst, right?
It's going to burst. It's on its way.
At the end of the day, the industry will survive because of, you have people who just are into the comics for the love of comics and not for a grade or things like that.
Or point number difference. Like,
yeah.
Sergio, to you, does a book being an 8.2 matter more than an 8.1 or an 8.0 or a 7.5? Like, to you, does that matter? Does that number actually affect your opinion of the book?
Like, you mean for my personal collection?
Yeah.
No, not really. It doesn't affect the book. When it does come into play, I'm a comic seller, right? I sell books, so it affects the dollar value of what I might be able to get dollar wise for a 7.5 as opposed to a 9.5. But in terms of like the actual number itself, it's just a number. I like my books in good shape. An arbitrary number, attached to it, doesn't really make a difference to me on that side. In terms of selling, that's a different story. Yeah, it does make a difference. But I think, again, there's got to be a balance, right?
Right.
There's got to be a balance.
There's always going to be sellers in any hobby.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I think that about, it sounds like, I think with anything, man, too much of anything, cannot be a good thing. What's the saying? I'm messing that up. But yeah, just happy medium. Medium,
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day.
And moderation.
And moderation. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Joe.
But I personally think we can get rid of that in the whole number system. Throw it out the window. Give it a 3-level system. It's terrible. It's okay, good, terrible, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it used to be before the grading came in. Because when you'd go into a comic shop back in the 90s, before they started really grading, or even before 90s, like pre-90s, everything was fine, bad, fine, very
good,
fine, good to mint, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like good, fine. That's how it was. There was maybe 5 tiers, and now it's gotten to the point where they do like a 10-point decimal system, right?
Yeah,
so anyway, I mean, some people dig it, some people don't. I'm not.
So there's like
I'm definitely one who doesn't. Yeah,
it's 100 grades, really.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up our thoughts on.
I think that was a good. We had a lot of great comments from the live chat audience. Thanks, guys. Participating in that, and
I would say let us know on Twitter.
Yeah,
at House of Nerd Show what your personal opinions and thoughts are on comic book grading.
Sure.
Do you care about the numbers? Do you care about the appearance of a book? Do you care how you're taking care of it? Or maybe you're a digital reader and you don't give a fuck. You don't care at all about this.
Yeah. Trust me, if you keep this discussion going on Twitter, you're going to get a lot of responses, because I
love it.
Been part of a few, and people get pretty passionate about this on both sides.
Yeah.
About the raw or the slab, man. People have very strong opinions about this.
Raw. Okay. Hey, I just want to a quick shout out to Ricky Z. Thank you for stopping in, my man. Happy House of Nerd Day. Love it, man. Love it, guys. Steve, what's going on? What do we have coming up on the TO Comic Book Club, man? How's that been going?
I'm glad you asked. It's been going fantastic since we switched to Tuesday nights, hashtag TO Tuesdays. We had a great discussion last week. This week, we are going to be discussing another beloved book, The Wicked. Oh, well, I just lost it there. There we go.
That's good.
We're all good. The Wicked and the Divine by Kieran Gillen and who's it, David McKelvey? I could be confusing the artist. It's McKelvey, though. Mm-hmm. This is just volume 1, so the first issues 1 through 5. And this is a series that I've heard really good things about, so I'm looking forward to discussing this. Thanks, Ian. Intern Ian knows what's going on. This Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time on our Discord. Go to our Twitter at TO Comic Book Club. There you will find the Discord link. Come join us if you want to talk about comic grading, if you want to talk about this book or whatever new releases are coming out or whatever in terms of comic books. You want a discussion on comic books, come join our Discord. And this Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we are talking The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 1.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
Yeah, great chats. Joey, you were in one of our chats recently.
Yeah, I've been in 2. I did the one we did on the Something is Killing the Children, and just recently, a couple weeks ago, we did Spider-Gwen. And I had a blast both times. It was great. And Serge is often there too, doing the book discussions.
I try to get there. I'm not there as often as I'd like, but I was just about to say.
Same.
When are you guys gonna do, Steve, the volume 3 for Something is Killing the Children? Because we've done the first 2 on there.
We've done the first 2. Yep. We'll be getting to number 3.
Yeah.
We'll be doing it this month. Right now, we want to focus on some good. Not to say Something is Killing the Children isn't good.
Yeah.
This month, September, marks our 3-year anniversary of this comic book discussion group. With that, later in the month, we will be discussing the very first book that we ever discussed, which was Vision Volume 1 and 2. So we're going back, and with new voices, we would love to have a rediscussion with new people on Vision 1 and 2.
When did you say that was?
That will be September 21st. Yeah, September 21st, because the 3-year anniversary is September 22nd. So.
I'll be there for that one. That gives me the perfect opportunity. I've always wanted to read Vision by King.
Tom King, yeah.
Yes. Is Mitch Gerrards the artist on that or no?
I don't think so.
No? Either case, it's a Tom King book. It's won a whole bunch of accolades. I believe it won an Eisner even, yeah?
Yeah. It's a really solid series. It's only 12 issues. 12 issues. We're discussing Volume 1 and Volume 2. And yeah, I'd love to hear all the new people that we have in the group, what their thoughts are.
Come join us. And it is audio only, so you can come to the chat, buck naked. Be good. Yeah. In your comfort zone.
And I wasn't aware when I met up with Serge when we went and hung out a bit, he let me know that this was actually didn't start as an online book club. You guys used to meet up in person and just chat, and then when the pandemic hit, you kind of geared more towards this online. I didn't know that. I thought it started off as a Discord book club, but you guys adapted, and I'm happy because I got to meet you guys because of this TO book club, which is amazing. You reach out across the world, man, and try to find, look,
we've got Ian.
Ian's in Japan. Man. Tara's in Delaware. I mean, we got people from all over the place. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We've got Oscar. We've got Oscar from Peru. So many different people. We are not just Toronto anymore. We are global,
worldwide, baby, and that's the beautiful thing about this
of the world.
All over. We've got this common interest, this passion for comics, and it's a blast. Yeah.
Yeah. So this Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, come find us on our Twitter at TO Comic Book Club. There you'll find the Discord link. It is an audio only discussion, and we are talking The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 1.
Yes. TO Comic Book Club. Be there, be square.
Yeah. Hey. Now, Sergio, we've got something interesting for this copper drop. So, do you want to set it up? What's going on?
Hey, my favorite segment, the House of Nerd Copper Drop, man. So, last week I wasn't here for this, but we had Mullet Cop.
My choice was picked. It's been a while.
Yeah,
but I was able to win over the crowd.
Finally won a copper drop, and Mullet Cop apparently was delayed, and if I'm not mistaken, Steve, I swear this has happened. This is like the second or third time that your pick has won, but it's been delayed, and we have to go to something else. The other option, Harley Quinn, 2021 annual. Yeah.
And the last time this happened, was it Was it also Lauren's book? Was the other book it was up against?
Maybe I can't say.
It might have been so by default. Lauren has won a couple times.
Her streak is alive by default, and Steve and I have a little theory on this. We were discussing this pre-show, and I think there's a reason why Lauren isn't here today. I think she got in her car, drove to Texas, all the way to Diamond. I think she went and slashed the tires on those delivery trucks that were supposed to bring Mullet Cop just to keep her streak alive. That's how much she held. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think Lauren sabotaged. Yeah, that's why she couldn't get back in time for the show.
She couldn't stand the power of Mullet Cop, so she had to slash some tires.
Hey, listen, but we're gonna, because that was the audience actually voted on that last week. We're definitely gonna get to Mullet Cop when it drops. So follow us on the socials there to find out when we're gonna be discussing Mullet Cop. But we promise we're gonna get to that 100%.
Yeah, because it was your choice. It was fan choice. No one else chose it. It was your choice. So we're gonna honestly keep with that. We're gonna talk about that book when we can.
Yeah.
So that being said, Harley Quinn 2021 annual. Let's get talking about this book.
Yeah. Joe, why don't we kick it off with you? What are your thoughts on this book here?
I'll come out right out of the gate and say I liked it. It was definitely a fun read. It actually made me laugh out loud on a couple occasions, which was good. I love the vibe. I love this. I wanted to tear through because I have Steph Phillips' new run on Harley Quinn. I have it as a poll, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I think it's up to issue 5 or 6. And I want to read the regular series to compare it to the annual and make a comparison, but I didn't have time. I didn't get around to it. But I dig this Harley Quinn. Like, it was fun. I love the her little sidekick there, the skateboarding guy. Yeah, he's great. I thought he was a wonderful character. He added so much charm and personality to the book, where it's more of a Kevin book than it is a Harley Quinn book, really, if you think about it. Yeah. And I loved it. He was such a great character, and I think he complements Harley's wacky, weird side so much. Like, he's definitely a passionate guy, and just looking for a friend. And I think he found that in Harley, and he's got her back. And I think, and in the end, it's reciprocated. She loves him back. She gives him the big hug and appreciates the fact that he put his neck on the line to try to get her back and save her. And I loved it. It was a great story. Steph Phillips did a great job. And the illustrator on this was David LaFuente, Marco Faya, and John Somariva. I don't know if which pages they did, or if one did the inks, one did the pencils. I don't know how it works because they don't go into specific pages of what each artist did. But I mean, the art throughout is good, regardless of who's drawn it. I mean, I don't think there's a single bad page in this. Like, it's consistent. The art is good.
The colors were by Mikel Muerto.
Muerto, who does a great job. Like, wonderful color palette.
He's the colorist on Something Is Killing the Children.
Yeah, like, honestly, I really dug the colors in this book.
Yeah,
there's a reason it was in my top 3. It was partially because of the artwork and the colors. It's just so vibrant and fun.
Yeah.
And I dig the Harley in her power suit, man. Love that look. Love it.
Yeah, that boss
the power suit. Yeah, that's my Harley, man. Because I love the White Knight Harley. She's my favorite Harley of all the Harleys in the iteration of her in White Knight, because she's smart, she's clever, she's a psychologist. She went to college. This girl has an education. She's an intellectual, and I find in the White Knight they channel into that so much, and I love it. And I think Steph Phillips does that too, but she keeps that fun side that you see in the movies and stuff. Like, she found a balance for more the mainstream fans. So, but still tunes into that more intellectual side of her without losing that quirky, over the top funny part of Harley. So it was a really good read.
Serge, what are your thoughts on it?
Harley Quinn. This.
That's a long pause there. What's going on?
I'm trying to. Yeah. This book, I don't think it's made for. I think it's I don't know, man. I'm not its audience. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'm not its audience.
What do you mean by that?
I think I know what he means.
I don't know what he means. I want to know.
You're trying to say it's made for teenage girls? Is that what you're trying to say?
I wouldn't even go so far as to say that, but I mean, for me, it
definitely has a YA.
So
it definitely has a YA vibe.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It does.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't think that can be denied. So I'm not. I don't read any Harley Quinn. I'm not particularly a fan of that character. But I went into this kind of with an open mind. Absolutely, like anything, I just want to read good books, right? It wasn't interesting to me. I didn't. I wasn't feeling it, to be honest. Just it's as simple as that. I will say the art was. I was digging the art. It's vibrant. It's colorful. I can see how the Harley Quinn audience will dig this book. I will say this. I do like how the story kind of touched on, it's saying, well, because there's this big kind of like, the fandom trying to Harley Quinn has got to fit in this kind of box, or she's this kind of
There's
character.
the meta commentary of it.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is what I wanted to talk about earlier. I wanted to say this. I like the fact that Steph Phillips knows how Harley is seen in terms of media, whether it's her.
There's an awareness to this.
There is, yeah. There's absolutely that awareness.
And so that's great that they touch on that, and absolutely right. I mean, you can't just kind of put this character in a box. And I mean, and so they pretty explicitly say that there's that meta commentary in the book. So that was cool. But I mean, I was very disinterested in this book.
Is there an aspect of it that wasn't doing it for you?
Just nothing in particular. Just this. I didn't find it entertaining.
Okay.
And that might be in part because I'm unfamiliar with it does definitely seem to tie into the current run.
It definitely does. I didn't think it would.
So, and me being unfamiliar, and it does seem to lean towards a younger audience. So it wasn't for me.
I'll say because it feels, well, I know you don't tend to read a lot of the DC and Marvel books usually.
Yeah, not anymore. Anyway.
Yeah, as a normal Marvel reader, this book, it felt like a book that Marvel would also produce, which is, it felt like one of the big two. And I see what you're saying, where sometimes it could be for a certain amount of ages. It may not be for adults necessarily.
Yeah.
But I feel like some of these books, when they're done well, and I think this book was done well, I think it encompasses enough for everyone. Whether it's a teenage girl, whether it's a 30-year-old man, whether it's whatever. I think a lot of the qualities of this book, and this is why it was part of my top 3.
Yeah.
A lot of the qualities of the book are what make comic books fun. This by no means, this is not a prestigious book. This by no means is not. It's not
reinventing the wheel. It's
exactly.
not gonna, yeah.
It's not. But what
it is what it is.
Yeah. It's a fun comic book. In a lot of our TO comic club discussions, we have certain labels that we give to books. We'll say it's a candy comic, we'll say it's a casserole comic, or we'll say it's a caviar comic. And in looking at it through this lens, I see this, it's a candy comic. It's a palate cleanser. It's just a fun read.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the Harley Quinn comic series that's going on. I wish I knew more, because I feel it does tie in, like what you're saying. There's that bit of a tie-in that I don't know any of these characters other than, the villains. I don't know who Kevin is, but just from what I know about these villains, I can kind of appreciate it for just being a fun read. And I think for me, the art, not so much the story. I like the meta commentary that we talked about, the awareness of who Harley Quinn can be, because we've seen her iteration in Batman the Animated Series. We've seen her iteration in the movies and in the adult animated Harley Quinn series that's currently airing. There's so many different Harley Quinns, just in the same way there's so many different Batman and Supermans. It's all dependent upon the writers. So I think there's going to be a different Harley for everyone. Some people's Harleys is the Deadpool-esque, the meme Harley. That Harley is not for me. I'm with you, Joe. I like White Knight Harley. I like this Harley. I like a Harley that has the intellect, but also is quirky in a way. But it's not like meme quirky. It's not like internet quirky. It's just she's fun. She's quirky. Sometimes she's unhinged. She's got a power to her. There's a bit of a rage to her. But then there's that outside intellect that she does tap in from time to time. She can be manipulative in a way. But she's also, this Harley Quinn is trying to redeem herself. Like, DC's talked so much about Harley Quinn that she is their fourth pillar, right? There's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, and they've talked so much about Harley Quinn being this fourth pillar that she really is. She's a pivotal part of DC Comics, and I think part of that is this redeeming quality of her. She was abused. She abused people, and now she's acknowledged that past, and she's trying to become better. Does it make her a hero? Not by any means. Is she an anti-hero? More likely. She does good, she does bad, and I like that this book focuses on a competent Harley that doesn't go straight into the internet memes. It's not just for jokes.
Yeah, she's very self-aware.
Exactly.
For me, one of the signs of a good book, regardless of whether you're familiar with it or not, does it make you want to go and read the other Harley, like, because this is part of the regular Harley? Does it make you want to go and pick up those Harley books and check that out, or is just kind of like, okay, this was good enough, and leave it at that? And
I'll say for the art alone, I kind of want to see what else this book has, because I'm really digging the coloring in this book. Like it really reminds me of a Boom book, because Boom is so vibrant with their colors that I'm really shocked that this is a DC book with how it's colored.
Fair enough. So, Joe, what's your vote on this one? Are you copping this book, dropping this book?
I'm going with the cop, because I love a fun read that just where the humor just lands with me, and it definitely landed with me. I love these fun reads. That's what I'm into comics for. I don't want to get depressed when I read books, and this definitely made me laugh out loud, so I got to cop it, man.
Yeah, hey, makes sense.
Got to.
Steve, what are you saying, buddy?
I would say I kind of agree with Joe. Don't go into this book thinking that it's a prestige book, or you might be emotional because of it. Some people are, in terms of Harley as a character. If you want a fun read, if you want a colorful book, if you want a palate cleanser, you just want to have fun, this is the book. I would say cop it for that. A copy for the colors alone, man. The art and the colors in this book are phenomenal. It's so vibrant.
There you have it, folks. How you guys know how this works. 2 out of 3, majority wins. Cop the book. You know, if you're a fan of it, it sounds like if you're a fan of the character, you guys will enjoy this. Yeah.
Also, check out last week's video with Steph Phillips.
Oh, yes.
Because her take on Harley Quinn, which we did discuss, kind of helped me appreciate what she's doing in this book.
Man, I will say, man, you can really see. I love it when you're listening, when you're watching a creator, and you see there's like this passion and a drive to try to understand and portray this character in the best way possible. And that came across, loud and clear. So yeah, man, check that out. Stephanie Phillips was on the show last week, the current writer of Harley Quinn and some other great books, man. All right, HoN Decision, cop this book, man. Go out and get it. Steve said a good palate cleanser, just a fun little book. If you guys are digging it, Also,
I've got a Harley back. You can probably see right there, Harley Quinn. So
you gotta zoom in on that, buddy. That's only the first half of Copper Drop. Oh, there you go, Steve. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I mean, my whole thing on Harley, I've got I like her.
Yeah. And that's fair, man. I dig it. But you know how Copper Drop works? That's only the first half. Second half, we are pitching. Myself and Steve are pitching blindly to Joe. He doesn't know what's coming up.
Yeah. So Joe, who do you want to pitch to you first?
We should have just flipped the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flip a coin. You know what? I can go first. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Steve, let me know when you're queued up, buddy.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think Steve gets the raw deal of often going first, so he doesn't
Yeah?
get to rebuttal. So I think that's
Okay.
fair. Yeah,
Okay,
good call,
that's
Serge.
cool. I'm good with it, man. My pick, Dead Box number 1. All right, this is a Vault comic books. You guys know I'm very, very high on Vault as a publisher, and the content that they're putting out. They're pretty much they can't miss at this point. So the premise: welcome to the town of Lost Turkey, where the main source of entertainment is a cursed DVD machine that seems to know more about the fate of its citizens than they do. Man, okay, I don't know. That I mean, listen to that, bro. That's crazy. I gotta be honest, man. I wasn't. I'm picking. I'm trying to find a number 1 for next. I'm like, I don't know about this, man. That's very quirky. It's so left field that you want to see it win. You're hoping. Let's see what this is about. You know what sold me on this though? Let me a quote from the writer here, from the creative team, Mr. Russell. There. This is what he has to say about the title. I wrote Dead Box as a horror story, not just about a cursed DVD rental machine, but also about the feeling of being trapped, boxed in, if you will, in a town that doesn't get you and a place you will never feel at home in, no matter how long you live there. As a kid who felt in many ways trapped by his upbringing and sought personal escape in movies, Dead Box tells a story that's deeply personal to me, even though it's about something as goofy as haunted movies. He goes on to say, my hope is that fewer and fewer Americans begin to recognize the place they call home. This will have a personal meaning for them too, that we can each in our own way find a way to survive the horror of everyday life. That's where he sold me, man. I think, it's a goofy premise, but
Who is the writer again, Serge?
The writer is Mark Russell. The artist is I'm not familiar with this person, Ben Tiesma.
Okay.
So I'm not familiar with the creative team.
All right.
But the writer's kind of thoughts on what this book is about. Definitely
sounds solid. So let's see what Steve's got for me.
So we'll see.
It definitely sounds like a book. I say that as my pick for Copper Drop, what we should read next week. Maze book number 1. Good old Jeff Lemire, writer of Sweet Tooth, writer of The Underwater Welder, writer of a bunch of Marvel and DC books. Marvel, he wrote Moon Knight, he wrote Hawkeye, he wrote so many good books. We know Lemire knocks it out of the park. And this is another Lemire pick where he's the writer, artist, colorist, cover artist. It's his baby. He's doing it all. And much like The Underwater Welder, this is his baby. Much like Essex County, good old Canadian boy. This is Canadian episode. Good old Canadian boy, Jeff Lemire, right?
Hey, you're playing up to the Canuck angle.
Absolutely.
I can't even be mad at that, my friend. I cannot be mad at that. Lemire is a legend.
So, Joe.
Yeah.
This book, Maze book, not only is it Jeff Lemire, not only is it good Canadian boy, the premise of this book is what got me to. A lonely building inspector, still grieving after the loss of his puzzle-loving daughter, receives a mysterious phone call one night from a girl that claims to be her, saying she's trapped in the middle of a labyrinth. Now, convinced that this child's contacting him from beyond this world, he uses an unfinished maze from one of his daughter's old journals and a map of the city to trace an intricate path through a different plane of reality. Now, this is weird. This is some weird thriller horror elements, grieving dad, labyrinths, all of this. You know, Jeff Lemire does great stuff when it comes to grieving people, in terms of having that emotional connection, having those stories where fathers and sons. In terms of Underwater Welder, we've got a father and a daughter. He's great at those personal relationships.
Yeah, Steve, we get it. Lemire's great. Okay, come on now. Come on. Listen, and if I'm gonna keep it 100, man, Steve beat me to the punch. I was gonna. This was gonna be my pick, but Steve, Steve got there first. But listen, we know Lamar is gonna bring it, bro.
He absolutely is. Yeah, that's why we should cop it.
But I feel the risk and the potential for the reward with Redbox is there. And,
I think Steve came in knowing that I was going to be here, and he picked according to knowing who was going to be picking the book this week. Because anyone that knows me a little bit knows Lemire is one of my favorites. So as soon as I saw the book, everything Steve was saying was just Lemire, Jeff, Lemire, Jeff, Lemire, Jeff. That's all I was hearing the whole time. I don't even know what he said after the book came out. So I mean, everyone knows what I'm picking. Yeah, it's the all Canadian episode. I mean, for once, man, Steve, you brought a good pitch. It's too bad it had to be an automatic win.
I don't care.
You lost. You had a solid sales pitch on a book that was a guaranteed win, man. That's too bad, because I'll be honest, your pitches haven't been the best in the past, but I mean, you win this week for sure, man. We're going with the Lemire book, man.
Good old Canadian boy, friend of Tio Comic Book Club.
Yeah, but pick, Maze book. Listen, I knew I was dead in the water.
Hold on, wait, what's the but?
Serge's book I have on my poll, so I was going to read it anyway. So to everyone out there, you should probably go pick that up, because it's looking like it's going to be a good book. But all things said, you can only pick one winner, and it's going to be the
There can only be one winner. That's how it works here on Copper Drop. Well played, Steve.
Thank you.
Well played, man. I'm on quite the losing streak here. But I'd be lying. Listen, I think everybody, if you're not picking May's book next week, I don't want to say you're doing comics wrong, but go pick up May's book, man. Yeah. Hey, you know he's gonna bring the heat. That's it. I'm devastated. I lost. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna end the show here. We're not gonna stick around much longer. We've crossed the 2-hour mark.
It's been a jumbo episode.
It's been a jumbo episode, man. Hey, but
I talk too much. I talk too much.
We loved having you here. The all Canadian episode part 2, and I forgot to feature my trusty old. I brought the maple syrup.
Canuck?
I brought the maple syrup. We marketed as a bring your own maple syrup event. I wonder if you guys at home, if you've got maple syrup and you were watching, tweet at us. Let us know on the socials, House of Nerd Show on Twitter, on Instagram.
Where can they find us on Twitter and Instagram? What's our handle?
House of Nerd Show on IG, on Instagram, House of Nerd Show on Twitter. Let's see those maple syrups. Joe, thank you so much, man, for hanging out, man. It was a blast. We had a great time. Where can everybody find you? What are you up to? What are you
on
guys
socials? I mainly just do Twitter, because I don't know how Instagram works that well yet. I try to use it like Twitter, but it obviously doesn't run like Twitter. So you can find me on Twitter at 00JoePocket. Or I'm on a little show called The Pink Buzz. You can find on YouTube. We do a live stream usually on Fridays. So you can go find us under Pink Buzz or under Graphic Vandalism on YouTube.
Sick.
Perfect.
All right, everybody go check that out. Pink Buzz. I'm going to have to check it out as well. Steve.
Yes, sir.
My man. What can everybody find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at StovePost. I'm on Instagram as well. You don't need to follow me there, though. I don't use Instagram. I'm like Joe. I don't really care for it. Twitter's where it's at for me, at StovePost. TO Comic Book Club, at TO Comic Book Club. Find the Discord link and join us there if you want to talk with us outside of these hours right now. When this show finishes, we're on the Discord. Don't forget, as Sergio mentioned, to like, favorite, subscribe, ring a ding-a-ling that bell, as Lauren says. Serge, where can people find you online?
My OnlyFans is in the link and in the body of this video below. But if you're into just the comic content, hit me up. Insert name INC on Twitter. Insert name comics on Instagram. I'm your comic book plug. I love connecting, you find fellow nerds with good content, with good comic books, whether it's back issues, new pull list requests, variants exclusives, all that good stuff, man. Hit me up, DM me. Happy to connect you people. Man, this was a great episode of the House of Nerd Show. It feels good to be back. I took a 2-week absent, but I'm back in the house, baby. I had a great time with Steve and Joe. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in, guys, man. Steve, are we back next week?
Lauren's back next week. I'm not back next week. I'm taking a day off next week.
Now, I was giving Lauren crap, but Steve, I swear, this is like your 6th vacation day.
Sorry, man. It's like it's a wedding and stuff.
Oh,
like
okay. Are you getting married?
I'm not. No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say congratulations are in order. Yeah. In any case, yeah. Let's get it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. The live chat, you guys are awesome, man. You guys make this a blast every week. We appreciate y'all. That's been it, man. Same bad channel, same bad time next week. See you. It's been the House of Nerd Show. All right, guys.